I'm not sure exactly what reminded me of it, but I was just thinking back to the college days. You know, I say that like I'm 40 and that it wasn't like 2 years ago, but every time I'd end up having a really late lift, especially on the weekends too. I mean, during the week, everybody's got to lock in to a certain degree, but during the weekend, it's kind of free range, right? And my school is kind of in a party town, so I'd be coming back from a lift 1 a.m., 2, usually not 3, that'd be a little while, usually about 2 or so at the latest. And for me, it was like college town here, my sort of apartment / house here in the bottom corner of it, and then the gym was over here. So usually I could just drive straight home and that'd be the end of it. But I'd always want to kind of drive through the town, see what everybody was getting up to. And I mean, it was a freaking ruckus, man. Excuse me. I'm doing a morning workout today, so I don't not exactly for a particular reason, just kind of because I want to. But yeah, I mean, freaking ruckus lines. Everybody freaking running around, getting in all sorts of trouble. We'd always see every college has its own little like bar stool specific account where crazy shit would get posted. You'd see guys freaking shirts off, slamming each other into cars, having a fight in the parking lot. Just going nuts. Right now, I see the appeal. I'm not going to say I don't. I'm not a freaking whatever word would describe that. But I don't know, man. I mean, all the time, 24/7. Because I think there's a certain disconnect from sometimes things in your day which you have to do, and then the ones you get to do, right? You clock into something, you go to class, you go to whatever. Okay, I have to do this. This is my work mode. And then you come home and it's like, okay, now it's time to just purely chill. And if you love your work, whatever that may be, then you're good, right? But I mean, you've only got a little bit of time free per se to work on stuff that's going to kind of compound in the long term. So I guess what I'm getting at now is if you're, let's say you're coming back from freshman year, and you can tell you may have been hit with a certain freshman 15, and not in a good, muscle kind of way. You might have to lock it in for next year, right? Or better yet, what am I even talking about? Just start locking it in right now. That's a pretty classic gauge for, I guess you could almost say, somebody's self-responsibility. Just kind of keeping their own upkeep going. Because when you're at your parents' house, they're cooking for you. They're making all your food. Odds are, in high school, you're doing some sort of sport. Plus, you're just younger. You're more spry. Right? I'm not going to say you start slowing down, but you're definitely much more prone to put body fat on the older that you get compared to being a youngin'. Right? I mean, if my diet was exactly what I ate when I was like a 13-year-old dude, in like proper components, oosh. I mean, I've definitely destroyed a good number of croutons bags and Cheetos Puffs family size in my day, and it got used as fuel, right? But now I probably wouldn't be so wild, so I guess we'll see. But all I'm trying to say there is, if you ever have any sort of lifestyle change, be it whatever you got, you're thinking about whatever it is right now, keep the weights in rotation, right? I'm not saying that the weights have to be the center of the universe that you are orbiting around, but let's say you're the sun. The gym better be a planet spinning around you in your routine, right? And not one of these like fake kind of Pluto planets where you're like, okay, well, it's not, no. I'm talking legit mass, something like a Mars, right? That's what I'm trying to get at here. So, plan for me tonight, or this, what am I saying tonight? For me this morning with back, I will see. I think I might want to do some pullovers. I think I definitely want to do some cable rows. And apart from those two, I'm open to inspiration, right? Once it gets started, once I start warming up, I will almost be led to what movements I want to do next, right? So maybe I finish a set of pullovers and I say, that was awesome, and I want to sit on the pullover machine, and I sit there for 5 sets straight. If it feels good, then that's what I'm going to do. But if I think it'd be better to switch, do some pull downs, do some rows, do some something or other, then that's what I'll do, right? You know, I'm at the whim of essentially what will feel the best in the moment, you know. And that's not to say I don't have a routine, but more so I have like a skeleton of a routine, in the sense that like I know what kinds of movements I want to do, but I don't necessarily know their exact order until I can actually get started and, you know, get a feel for it, right? It's like a carpenter. He doesn't necessarily pick what he's gonna make and then pick the wood for it. It's more so he finds a piece of wood himself and then says, this would be perfect to make this out of it, if you see what I'm saying. A lot of analogies this drive, but I hope you get the gist of at least one of them. So I think nothing else to talk about. Let's just get started. Feeling good, feeling rather good. So I've been doing a lot of pull downs, cable wise, as a start. So let's change it up and start with a classic just seated row. And you know, I don't do a ton of you know, kind of lower back loaded movements as much. Not so much you know, really heavy bent over barbell row. And even though this isn't chest supported, something about the nature of the cable, it's not so crazy on my lower back, if you know what I'm saying. So I think the cable row seated sort of gets a little bit of a kind of a category of its own. It's not a chest supported machine, but it's definitely not like a bent over barbell row either. It's its own thing. It's its own beast. So let's make this happen with the stack first. If I get a good song playing. Okay. One more of those. Okay. Actually, I think one more of those. Normally I'd move on after 2 good ones, but it's been a while since I've done this specific movement. So I'll do one more just to really bring it, and then we can move on. This is good. Okay. Okay. All right. That's nice. And why I say that is because that's real failure. In the sense that, I mean, I'm trying to move that shit at the end, and it's just not going to friggin' happen. But that's on the heavier side. A heavy set, you can hit failure decently easy if you bring it, because it's over quick. So I think the time now is to move on to something a little lighter, squeezing, torturous, which for me I think I have a little more trouble with. Because instead of, you know, a 15-second burst, it could extend to a full minute, just freaking burnout. But that's what we want. So let's pick a new machine. This is a machine that, frankly, I don't think anyone, apart from like an Eddie Hall, you know, Brian Shaw type character, can max out. Right, I got 2 plates, and this is freaking heavy. Typically, a machine has, I guess you could say, positive leverages, where the weight you feel in the handle is always less than the weight that you actually load in the back, right? It's like if I've got 10 pounds over here and I have a jack to lift it, I might feel half a freaking pound lifting the thing up, you know, because it's got that freaking mechanical advantage. This one's the opposite. The weight is further away than the handles are. 2 plates is enough. And actually 2 plates might be more than enough. For the set after this, I'm going to go a little lighter, but this will be good. And this is a movement I really want to keep as a staple when I do back in here, because I get a lot of, well, obviously a lot of lats, but lats in a cool way. Sometimes when I do pull downs, I get a lot of lower, kind of deep lats, plus some erector, right? Christmas tree style stuff. I don't want that any bigger. You know, I want my lats to widen out and have more of like a daunting look, if you know what I'm saying. And I really feel a lot of like upper lat activation all the way up in here. I'm doing this movement and the pullover. But today the pullover's not clicking for me. I tried it a second ago because that's what I wanted to do. Something about it just isn't clocking. So let's just do these pullovers first. Pull downs rather. Okay. Okay. One more. Actually, 2 plates will be okay for the next one. I thought it was a little heavier, actually. But 3 is out of the question. Okay. All right. Okay, now what? Now do I do Keenan flaps? No, I'm just kidding. Let's do a pullover or something. Cable though, and then get ready for a full-on back pump and finisher. But yeah, man, just for 5 sets, very good start for today. Usually I'm a guy to just grab the nub right here, but I was just doing a couple feeler reps by holding the cable underhand and kind of doing a pullover like this. I tried doing underhand on the pullover machine, but something about the machine and like having to do both arms at once here, it just didn't click as well. Because I mean, even just look at me do this. If I'm imagining an underhanded pullover, right, it looks like this. I can have my hands close to the top, but as I pull down, they want to come apart down here. So it's almost like I want a pullover machine with one extra level of complication where the hands actually go down and out rather than just straight down. Now, whether or not that would really work, I'm no exercise machine designer. But with a cable, one arm at a time, perfect. So these aren't insanely heavy, only 60 pounds on the cable, which really, it's not much, but I want the squeeze to be good. So I'm actually almost kind of leaning back a little. So this is kind of my setup. Hand here, supporting, and then I'm really making sure that at the bottom, I'm trying to pull my elbow deep as far as I can. And in doing so, I can really get my lat going. As a, let's just say, a movement to train your mind-muscle connection with your lats and really click them. This is not a bad approach, but let's do one or two here and then get ready for a finisher of some variety. There we go. Okay, actually gotta go a little lower. Yeah. Yeah. Holy crap. Okay. Ooh. Getting a little rear delt in here too, which I don't mind. One more. Back is nearly done, that's for sure. And I'm gonna superset it into pull downs. I don't know if I can manhandle 250 after I do those pullovers. Let's drop it to 220. Be a little more reasonable. But same thing, squeeze, burn here, and then do a little extra damage and really good lat stretch with that close grip bar for pull downs. And then I can almost guarantee one more set should be it. But if I need more, that's the point, man. I'm not lifting for a number, I'm lifting for a sensation. And once I can tell I'm there, then I'm good. Yeah. Okay, one more. Okay. 3. Okay. Holy crap. I don't think 220's ever felt that heavy. Oh, yeah. Now, is that it? Give me a second to decide. I gotta feel just how pumped I am. And then we'll either pose down or one more. Hot in here. I think, yeah. A Big S fan is on the list as a necessary purchase. Just plop it right here, have it be nice and cinematic. But let's see how we're looking. So through the shirt, no lat spread. Like, this is just me, like, you know, kind of tucking in, but just like standing. I'm a happy camper. Like, actually, let me just really tuck it in extra tight, and then just do a natural ass pose. Like, this is nothing. This is even me pulling my friggin' arms in to kind of shrink, and I've still got a decent amount of added width. But let's do a little pose as well, just to really bring it out. So that's good. That is absolutely what I'm freaking aiming for. So let's see it minus the pump cover. Whew. All right. So in just about 6 months, I should be pretty diced. That's accounting for at least 3-ish months of a little more off-season bulk, plus a touch of, the beginning of my next dieting phase. But let's get right into the peak light. Whew. That double Y is actually probably the coolest one I've hit for a while. Let me try one really leaning back, getting a little extra, kind of perspective into it. Because the whole point is I want big up top and little down the waist. Ugh. Whew. Very nice. All right, I can do that and be pretty freaking happy about it. That's for sure. Oh my God. Holding a vacuum, that's a skill I've lost. And that's a skill which you will lose, at least to the same peak degree that you can during an off season or during a diet if you start getting off season big. But who cares? That's not the point, right? If anything, I don't even want to be able to do a vacuum because I've got so much food in my stomach that there's nothing to suck in. It's just totally freaking, stocked. So, I can understand how some get a little upset at the hit that their midsection gets if you start doing a real off-season bulk. But I gotta tell you this, man, 6 months later, once you've leaned out and you're as lean as you were in the beginning with extra size, you're gonna be singing a different tune. I can say that for sure. So let's shut this garage and freaking roll, man. Whoa. That was a good lift. Yeah, there we go. Little glasses switch up. But that was good. That was a good lift. I'm feeling really good right now. There's a certain stat which I need to think of a name for it right now, which is I would use to kind of describe my ability to just exert force comfortably. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're, let's say you've got a bum shoulder, your elbow is really sore in here, you got some tendonitis looking stuff, you'd have a low score for your ability to just exert force on the world. Because if you push the door open the wrong way, or if you tweak something, you have it pull, or that's going to mess with that force. But whenever you're in, and when I say good shape, I just mean no tweaks, everything's feeling strong, you're warming up before you do anything, you're good, you'd have a high force output, as it were. Or more so, just a high resilience factor. I guess that's what I'm trying to say here. So right now, I'm feeling that. That back day, the only thing stopping me from, moving any kind of weight during those sets was simply just an inability to contract muscle. It wasn't that it was too heavy or anything like that. It's it's just a good feeling because you can really bring it without having to worry about tweaking something. If you've got something nagging at you, that is, and you're a race car, that nagging tweak somewhere, that's drag. That's an extra flap that's up when it should be smooth, so that air can kind of flow across you and you can have a good workout, right? So that is, that's something which I have had to gradually value more and more over the course of my training, especially as I've taken it more seriously now and I've actually really started putting huge size on, is there's a certain respect that the gym demands so you don't tweak yourself. Any injury of any variety, that's not 2 steps back, that's freaking 5 steps back. Absolute tomfoolery. There's no justification for it, right? Even if it's just a totally random thing, and you did everything right, and you warmed up, and you have a random, probably something in your recovery was off, or you stayed up too late, or you didn't have enough water. You know, a lot of times it can be looped back, right? It's like if every time you ever have an injury in the gym, what is it, the NTSB, National Trail Safety? Yeah, I think it's whoever investigates airplane crashes. That's what you should be trying to emulate every time you tweak yourself in the gym. You should be able to look back and think, okay, what caused this? Right? Was I lifting too heavy? Did I not warm up enough? Did I not get enough sleep? Did I pick a machine I haven't done before and I wasn't really comfortable with it or ready for it? And if you can find the source and work on that and try to fix it, it's going to play into the future rather well. You know, every time I've tweaked something, I can explain it. You know, I was doing weight that was too heavy. I was doing reps that were too quick and kind of like bouncy. I was going too heavy when I was dieted. So obviously I need to chill out a little if I'm only eating, you know, a few thousand calories a day and max. You know, there's a lot of ways you can look at it. Whereas, you know, most of the time, it's fucking bullshit, man. Yeah, you know, my shoulder's wrecked, and then the guy keeps benching on it. Unfathomable. I just don't, because to actually look back and think, okay, what did I do wrong which caused this? That's a little bit of a sort of humility-based approach. And it's very easy to just blame something else. Oh, dude, that guy got in the fucking way. I wanted to do the 130s, but that guy was using them, so I went to the 140s when I wasn't ready for it. That fucking asshole. You know, or anything of the sort. It's very easy to deflect, right? But deflections aren't going to get you anywhere. You know, if you do something wrong, the best thing you can do is just take it, learn from it, and improve onward. You know, that's half of my gripe with a lot of just sleaziness that I see with anything. But when it comes to the training, right, dude, you know, I've got the training style for you, man. Only $400 a month, and you're gonna get jacked. It's like, really, you know, come on. And even the approach of it, I feel, is a little bit. I mean, it's so classic, right? You have someone teach you how to do something. Right? We go to school, we have a teacher, right? You go to a job, you have. You know, you have the guy who's doing your training so that you can learn the right way to do it. But with the working out, it's so personal, and not just personal mentally, but even on a physical level too, because nobody else has your exact body, that the guys who really make it far, and I don't mean far, I just mean like who are good at working out. I'm not talking bodybuilder. I'm talking just the guy at your YMCA who's jacked. I'm not saying 200 pounds jacked, even 170 lean. Like, I feel like I have to say this a lot. Being big does not always mean being physically large and big. I mean just muscularly developed, right? If I looked at a dude who was 160 diced, or 170 diced, that is sweet, right? When I look at old pictures of myself back when I was in the 180s, you know, pretty lean, I could only do 2 something for 10 on bench, that was still sweet. Right? It's not as though I was smaller and I look back and I'm like, man, I looked like shit back then. No, it's just being a certain level of physically developed. That's the flex of being big. That's what I'm talking about, right? There's no, you're not better because you're 200 lean and this guy's 170. If this guy's 250 lean and you're 170, dude, he's got his own set of problems. It's always a give and take, right? So don't think this is a total freaking size off. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to get to that point where people know you work out and it looks like you do, then you can't follow a cookbook, man. You can't be a fucking cookie cutter about it. You know, it's your training, it's your body, it should be your approach. And the problem with that is it's not a fun answer. You know, if I went up to, you know, whoever, let's say if I was like, you know, my 16-year-old self, and I'm at the Arnold and I saw Chris Bumstead, or I saw Callan Von Moger, or I saw Jay Cutler, or anybody, and you know, I don't know anything about training, right? This is the hypothetical, and I'm like, well, what's the best way to build my chest? I'm kind of expecting to hear like a secret bit of intel no one else knows, where, you know, he's going to tell me, he's like, look, all right, here's what you do, and then that's like this untold secret worth millions. And they know that too, you know. There is no answer like that. It's something to sort of be discovered for yourself. But that's not cool, right? What's the secret? There is no secret. That's not a cool answer, you know. But it doesn't take away, or I hope that doesn't take away from its value, you know. So, I mean, what can I tell somebody who wants to get bigger biceps? Start doing a bunch of curls, man, right? If I could give anybody a blueprint to follow where they said, Sam, I want to be in good shape, I want to get in the gym, I want to be that guy. It's big, small, lean, whatever kind of end shape he wants to get to, I want to be that. Be it powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, anything, it doesn't matter. Then I would say, okay, you know, just follow some videos, like watch some guys who work out. Much better, I would say, if you know someone who works out, ask them to kind of tag you along, or maybe don't even ask them, but kind of like hint that you're getting interested into working out. Or if you know someone and you're the guy who's working out, you know somebody, one of your buddies, your younger brother, anything, and they're, you know, you can tell that they might be into it, but they don't want to come out and ask you, because, you know, then they're really asking you for like a favor sort of thing. That's a perfect ass situation to say, hey man, you gonna come and chest with me? That sentence right there could be an absolute game changer, life altering thing to say to somebody, right? And it seems so trivial, you know. So even just doing that, and then, you know, just getting your way through it. I mean, we're all there watching all sorts of older, like Athlete X, what are the best tricep movements. I think that was back when workout tutorials were a little more basic. There wasn't like an agenda. It's just, here are the movements. And then the guy did it. He's like, this is a straight bar push down. This is a rope extension. This is a dumbbell curl. This is a preacher curl. This is a cable fly, right? And he would just explain pretty much how to do it, and that was the end of it, you know. So get a good grasp of the vocabulary of all the movements there are: leg extension, leg curl, squat, leg press, hack squat, Smith machine. You know, just get a grip, show up to the gym, try it out, and just keep doing it for years. And before you know it, you'll be that guy, right? It's definitely a situation where, of course, you want to bring it, but no lift ever made a lifter. No individual workout or even week of workouts ever made or broke somebody's physique. You know, it's just a time game, man, you know? So it's about clocking hours. So the more you do it, and the more you're like actually attentive with what you're doing, because, you know, you could show up to a class every day of the year, but if you weren't focused and trying to learn, then you wouldn't learn jack, you know? So the more often you can show up, have a good workout that you're planning to do, visualize it. You're like, okay, I want to do dumbbell curls, preacher curls, bicep curls, cable curls, tricep pushdowns, dip machine, whatever that workout is. And frankly, it doesn't really matter what it is, as long as you try all sorts of different stuff and find out what you like. Even better, find out what works. Then you're good, right? So I'm always looking for new intel, right? I'm always scanning around for new movements, different approaches, things like that. But I think I have a reasonable filter for it's a BSF, right? A BS filter. I think you know what those two letters stand for. Where sometimes you see a new movement, like a preacher or a dumbbell or some kind of fly or like a superset or something, and you're like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting, right? And if it passes the filter, you say, I want to try that. You should catch a lot of stuff that you say, okay, this is stupid, right? I mean, there's a lot of movements that are very cool for show that'll get posted, and that's where you have to say, I'm not going to do that, but I will do this. I'm not going to do all this, but I will do this one thing. And the more you can add those new little bits of intel to your routine, the better. And you don't even have to scroll your phone for it. If your gym is busy enough, and there's guys in there who really lift, they're itching to talk about the gym, you know. Oh, excuse me. You know, because if you work out, I mean, unless your whole family is like yoked and that's your thing, odds are you get your fix of kind of gym conversation maybe in the gym if you know somebody who is in there, and then the rest of the day, nothing. You know, not everybody works out. It's still kind of as mainstream as it's becoming, it's still kind of a niche sort of thing, you know? So if you go up to somebody who's pretty big, I mean, apart from the fact that, right, everybody will probably just want to help you out if you're asking for real advice. people love telling other people how to do things, you know, and they've got your best interest at heart, right? It's like, okay, let me really tell you how to do a rope extension or how I like to do it, dude. Right? The information's there. The information is not the problem. It's simply gathering it and applying it on your own, right? So when I see guys where they're constantly changing their workout splits, they're constantly doing new movements, or like they go back and forth between saying, oh, I should do high volume, oh no, this week I'm doing high intensity. Your training's a little too wishy-washy, right? It's never going to work, you know. Let's say you're trying to make a painting, even a beginner one, right? I get curious about that. I think it'd be fun to be able to put up like big pieces all over the walls somewhere at the house, or like things like that. So I get curious. But if I was going to do that, I would pick a reference picture and I would say, okay, I'm going to try to do this in this style and see what happens. And it's going to take a while, right? I wouldn't be able to do that in one freaking minute, you know? So if every time I tried to do it, and, you know, let's say I set up a whole easel like that, or if someone did that, and every time you keep changing the reference picture, you're just going to have a pile of freaking smears all over the page, and it'll resemble nothing, you know? So this is, it's kind of a saddening fact, but it's kind of just the sort of the law of nature embodied in sort of human form here. But a lot of people that come to the gym and work out, they're doing just enough to get by, you know, but with just a little more kind of condensed effort, a little more specific, you know, intentional approaches, dude, they could be making progress. And I can guarantee no one would deny themselves more progress if they saw it written out clear as day. The problem is it's something you got to freaking sort of find out for you, you know. If everybody, and this is what really gets me, guys will come to the gym, it's 5 days a week, 6 days a week, very consistent lifter. He's got his pre-workout, he's got his gym clothes, he's got a full-on duffel, he's got a fancy belt. Maybe he's into it enough where he got his belt embroidered, and he's got shaker bottle, he's got the whole shebang. This guy works out and he likes it. But if every lift you don't push yourself to that certain just degree of kind of, I don't even want to just say intensity, but just efficiency, efficacy, whatever, then you can do that whole process. You can do 90% of it right and still stay exactly where you are. You know, maybe he's not actually counting his calories enough. He's not eating enough food to recover well. Maybe he's not sleeping well. Maybe a million things. But that's where I want to say, if you can find out what's kind of hindering you, what's holding you back from progress, and work on that, that's almost, I'd say, more important than try to up any other factor, you know? Because as long as you're moving forward, you're good. If your trajectory is positive, if your candles are green, nobody can argue with your progress, right? So what I sort of want to highlight is trying to negate, like I said on the way here, anything that's going to act as drag, anything that's taken away from you maintaining this positive momentum. That's what you need to work on, right? When you're designing a freaking airplane or a submarine or just whatever, I mean, I would imagine, obviously they don't want this thing to be, they want this thing to be aerodynamic, right? You want to move fast and smooth. So if you're constantly needing to take breaks from working out, or you're just getting thrown off because of your routine, or, you know, just any number of things, those are the things you probably want to work on, right? One day of killing it is absolutely freaking undone by, you know, a week of coasting and just chilling, right? One day of grinding is countered by 2 days of coasting, or even a day of coasting, you know, who's to say exactly, right? So that's, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at there. So if, man, I was really getting into it. How long have I been talking? Either freaking way. Good back day. I feel very strong. I'm definitely ready for an arm day tomorrow. I might make tomorrow just triceps though. I was playing volleyball and my forearms are a little tender from doing this action. I'm not used to this, so I can kind of feel it in here a little. And curls obviously have a lot of this, so I think I might make tomorrow triceps only. I'll see how I feel. I will see how I feel. No need to plan a rest day based on how you feel today. Wait till tomorrow to find out in the morning, you know, because after a good night's rest, man, your body can deal with a lot of fatigue. It can deal with a lot of tenderness, as long as you give it the right fuel to do so. But Current weight unknown. I need to get a new scale, but I'm feeling large and in charge. That's for sure. So I'll see you for whatever lift happens tomorrow.